Hey everybody, this is Lorelia, and today I want to talk to you about how debt validation can help you increase your credit score. Now, before I go into what I want to share with you today, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name is Lorelia Brown-Phillips. I am Amazon's best-selling author of Jumpstart Your Credit, How to Settle and Negotiate Your Debts in 10 Steps. So, I know you're wondering, well, Lorelia, how do you increase your credit score? Most people have been told that the way that you increase your credit score is to pay your debts. Now, before I go into that, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. By no means am I trying to encourage anybody who's watching this video not to pay their debts. I'm not trying to encourage you to do that. But what I am encouraging you to do is to take the information that I'm going to share with you and learn about how this information can help you or somebody that you know. Most people do not know what debt validation is when it comes to credit card debt, installment loan debt, medical debt, excluding student loan debt, and housing debt. If you asked a person what is debt validation, most of them would not know. I've heard people mention, let me think, debt confirmation, something of that, means, but doesn't mean anything. What I'm talking about is debt validation. And even if a person has heard about debt validation, they do not know how debt validation could help them or to help their credit. Now, I did a video, which I will link to this one, that goes into the relationship of the original creditor, the debt buyer, and the debt collector. And I actually talk about it in my book about that relationship. Once you understand that relationship, because I don't want to go into it in this video, but you have to understand that relationship, because that is how debt validation is going to help you. But I will tell you this in this video. Whenever you're contacted by a debt collector legally has to validate the debt. What does that mean? In the simplest terms, according to the FDCPA, because of course I'm paraphrasing, a debt collector has to, or anybody who is contacting you about paying a debt, has to legally show you, do they have the right to collect on that debt? They have to show you that. Because I always like to use the example of this. My name is Lorelia. And I went to John, and John said, Lorelia, I'm going to extend $500 of credit to you. It gives me $500, and he says, okay, we're going to sign an agreement that says that you're supposed to pay me X amount of money along with interest until the debt's paid. Well, unfortunately, I got, things had happened, and I can no longer pay. So John is contacting me, and he's trying to get in touch with me for me to pay this debt. And John gives up and says, you know what, I'm going to take a loss on it. And Gina, he talks to Gina, and Gina says, well, you know what, I'll take that off your hands. I'll pay you money for that debt. So how much does she owe? $500. Her being Lorelia, $500, little interest and penalties, maybe about $550. Okay, well, I'll buy that debt from you for $250. Gina gives John the $250. The debt is now Gina's. Gina gives me a call, says, hey, Lorelia, you owe me $550. Gina, who are you? I don't even know a Gina. Oh, remember that debt that you got from remember that loan that you got from John? Well, I'm collecting on that debt and I own it now. And you have to pay me. Gina, I don't know who you are. I make that analogy to explain to you is that is the relationship that consumers go through with the debt collector and the original creditor. At the point that the original creditor sells the account to a debt collector, they have to state their case. They have to say who they are, how they're able to collect on it. They have to show you that the debt had got assigned to them. They have to show you the original contract that you signed. There are a list of things that a debt collector has to show you in order to collect on that debt. But see, most consumers don't know that. And what happens is that they start to panic. They ignore the calls because they don't know what to do. And that's why it's so important to understand the debt validation process. Now you may be wondering, okay, Lorelia, what does this have to do about my credit? I'm going to raise my credit score. Well, at the point that the debt collector says that he or she wants you to pay on it, they may have put that information on your credit report, which is a total no-no, according to the FDCPA. This is not my rules. It's their rules. People always say, Lorelia, where do you get this? I don't make this information up. This information is public. Everybody has access to it. All I do is I'm the messenger. So going back to what I said, if a debt collector has not proved to you that they should collect on a debt, that they can't explain, they can't provide you with the documentation that they're supposed to provide to you about that debt, then legally they can't put it on your credit report. And what this means is that you as a consumer have the right to go to the credit bureaus along with letting the debt collector know you can't do this. And when you go to the credit bureaus, you got to tell those credit bureaus, hey, I know my rights. And I also know that there's another federal law. I've talked about the FDCPA, Federal Debt Collection Practices Act. But there's another law, the FCRA. That's the Federal Credit Reporting Act. Like I tell people, I don't make this stuff up. I'm just a messenger. The credit reporting agencies have a legal right to report certain information that is true. If the information is not true, they legally cannot report it. So how does this help you increase your score? Well, if you don't know this, every time an item is deleted from your credit report, or any time information that was derogatory that has changed and is now in a positive status, your credit score increases. There's no magic to this. Now, of course, there's a lot of other things that play a part with your credit, paying your credit on time. But let me just share this with you. Most of the people who are credit challenged are usually those who have accounts on their credit report that it's in a derogatory manner. And that derogatory manner usually comes from debt collectors. So, how does this help you? This helps you because you need to understand how debt validation can help you increase your credit score. You need to understand how debt validation can actually protect you from harassing debt collectors. In my book right here, I actually outline Chapter 7. Probably can't see it, but it says, what is debt validation? I have a whole chapter on it so you can understand what debt validation is. So once again, this is Lorelia. If you know somebody, or maybe it's even you, but what I want you to do is I want you to share this video. I want you to share how this information can help someone. And what I want you to do is become a student. Become a student of the information so you can financially empower yourself. And this is what I also want you to do. I want you to go to my website, www.jumpstartyourcreditbook.com. There, you'll learn more about me. You'll learn more about how this information can help you or someone else. So once again, this is Lorelia. I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Bye-bye.